Welcome students. I am Dr. Archana Savarkar, Department of Zoology, Shri RNT College of Science, Akola. Today we have to see structure of human heart. Now where heart is situated? Our heart is situated in the thoracic region, in between two lungs, and it is slightly shifted towards the left side. Then, what about the size of heart? Our heart is near about the size of our closed fist. Then shape of the heart. Our heart is nearly conical in shape. See this? The outline of our heart. This heart is near about conical in shape. Here you can observe the narrow apex is situated on the lower side and the broad base on the upper side. Then see, this heart is enclosed in the envelope, and that envelope is known as pericardium. We can draw this pericardium here. This is the envelope of heart or the covering of heart in which heart is situated. This is pericardium. Peri means outer covering of the heart. This pericardium is a protective layer. It is a protective layer which covers the heart. This pericardium is double layer structure. If you observe the structure of pericardium, this is double layer structure. The outer wall of pericardium is known as parietal layer and the inner wall of pericardium is known as visceral layer of pericardium. This is the outer layer of pericardium. It is known as parietal layer and the inner wall of pericardium is the visceral layer. And in between these two layers, that is the parietal layer and visceral layer, there is a space. It is known as pericardial space. This pericardial space is filled with a fluid, pericardial fluid. Now what is the function of this pericardium? As it envelops the heart in whole, obviously it protects the heart from mechanical shock, mechanical injury. Then see the structure of heart, the actual structure of heart. The human heart is made up of 4 chambers. The upper chambers are known as auricle or atrium. This is the upper chamber which is present on the right side. It is right atrium or right auricle, and this upper chamber is the left atrium. This right atrium and left atrium, these are the upper chamber, and here you can observe that there is a partition in between this right atrium and left atrium. This partition wall in between this auricle is called as interauricular septum. This partition is the interauricular septum. Now see the lower chamber. These lower chambers are known as ventricle. On right side, the larger chamber of ventricle, and this is the left chamber of ventricle. Right ventricle, and this chamber is the left ventricle. Again, like these auricles, these ventricles are also separated by means of a septum. This is the partition in between these two ventricles, and this partition is known as interventricular septum. Interventricular septum. Now observe the wall of this auricle as well as ventricle. The wall of auricle, it is quite thin. It is quite thin, and that's why it is darker in color. And wall of ventricle is thick. Here we can observe this is the wall of ventricle, which is quite thick than that of wall of ventricle. On inner side, it is highly folded. Here we can observe the folds of ventricular wall on inner side. This is the wall of ventricle, which is folded on inner side. The wall of ventricle is thicker than that of the wall of auricle. Now see, here again there is another septum in between auricle and ventricle. This transverse section, and this transverse section is called as auriculoventricular septum. This one. This is the auriculoventricular septum. This transverse septum or partition in between auricle and ventricle. Now see the openings of auricle and ventricle. Before going to that, we have to see the blood supply to heart. This heart is a pumping organ. It receives blood from the veins and forward blood with arteries. There are some exceptions for this. We will see this later on. Now see, these two chambers, that is auricle, these are the receiving chamber. Means this receives blood from various parts of the body. First see the right auricle. This right auricle receives deoxygenated blood from two main veins. The first one is the precaval. It opens in this right auricle, and another is the postcaval. This is the precaval vein. And this is the postcaval vein. This one. These are the two major blood vessels which carries impure blood or deoxygenated blood to the right auricle. This precaval vein, it receives blood from the upper region of the body, especially from the head region. And the postcaval vein collect the deoxygenated blood from lower part of the body, that is abdomen, hands and legs. Thus this deoxygenated blood is carried with the help of this caval vein, and this deoxygenated blood is received by this right atrium. Okay. Now see the left atrium. Again, this left atrium is also receiving chamber, and it receives oxygenated blood from two veins. These are the two pulmonary veins. These are the two pulmonary veins which opens in this left auricle by means of this common opening. This is the opening of this pulmonary vein. This pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood from the lungs. Pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood from the lungs and pours it into the left atrium like this. Thus these both atrium are the receiving chamber. Right atrium receives impure blood or deoxygenated blood, and left atrium receives pure blood or the oxygenated blood from lungs. Now see here, in between this auricle and ventricle there is a opening. This opening is called as auriculoventricular aperture. This is the auriculoventricular aperture. This one. This is on the right side and here on the left side. This is again auriculoventricular aperture. On the right side, this aperture is guarded by means of three holes. These are the tricuspid holes. This auriculoventricular aperture is guarded by these three holes, that is tricuspid holes. And these holes are attached to the inner wall of this ventricle by means of fibrous structure, and this fibrous structure are known as chordae tendineae. Here also there are two holes which are attached to the inner wall of this ventricle. These fiber-like structures are nothing but chordae tendineae. These are the chordae tendineae which connect these auriculoventricular holes to the inner wall of this ventricle. Now what is the function of this chordae tendineae or this attachment? Due to this attachment of these aperture holes to the inner wall of ventricle, it gives spongy appearance to ventricle. Clear? Again it increases strength of ventricle because ventricles are the forwarding chamber. The ventricle have to push the blood. It requires more force, and that is why the wall of ventricle is thick. It is thicker than that of the wall of auricle. See here, this is the auriculoventricular aperture on right side, which is guarded by these three holes. These are called as tricuspid holes. On the left side there are two holes. These are the bicuspid hole, or it is also known as mitral holes. Now, when this right auricle receives this deoxygenated blood, in this right side, then this deoxygenated blood have to push into ventricle of that side, that is right ventricle. Same here, the pulmonary veins, it carries oxygenated blood or the pure blood which passes through this aperture, auriculoventricular aperture, into the left ventricle. So what is the function of these holes, tricuspid and bicuspid holes? It prevents the backward flow of blood. Means once the blood enters from auricle to ventricle, it cannot pass back into the atrium. Then again there are two main blood vessels which is present, one on right side and one on the left side. On right side, here there is a large blood vessel which goes to lung like this, and this blood vessel is called as pulmonary aorta. This is pulmonary aorta. This pulmonary aorta bifurcates, which goes to the two respective lungs. Now here see, at this position, this pulmonary aorta opens in the ventricle. Now this aperture is again guarded with the help of these half moon shaped valves. These are three valves and these are known as semilunar valves. Semi means half, lunar means moon. These are the semilunar valves. Semilunar valves. Now, once the deoxygenated blood enters into this right ventricle, now it has to pass in this pulmonary aorta. When the ventricle contracts, now this deoxygenated blood enters into the pulmonary aorta, then it passes to this left and right pulmonary artery which reaches to the lungs. Means this deoxygenated blood is passed towards the lungs for further process, that is for the process of oxygenation, where blood is purified. These semilunar valves again restrict the backward flow of blood from this pulmonary aorta to the ventricle. Once blood enters into this pulmonary aorta, it cannot pass back into this respective ventricle due to presence of these semilunar valves. When blood is pushed in this aorta, the valves get open, and when blood passes into this pulmonary aorta, these semilunar valves get closed. Means again it prevents the entry of backward flow of blood from aorta to the ventricle. Then see on the left side. On left side there is again one important blood vessel. It arises from the left side. This is the S-shaped blood vessel, and this large blood vessel, it passes on dorsal side and comes as a dorsal aorta. This blood vessel is known as systemic arch. This is the systemic arch. Now you can observe here Like this pulmonary aorta, this systemic arch is again guarded by this semilunar walls. Pure blood from this left atrium enters into the left ventricle, and from the left ventricle then it passes into this systemic aorta or systemic arch. This systemic arch further divides number of times and supplies this pure blood or oxygenated blood to various parts of the body. So students, this is about the structure of human heart. So main point you have to remember: the position of human heart, then size of human heart, then chambers, 2 auricle and 2 ventricle, then main blood supply to this heart region. So we will stop here, and in next period we have to see the working of heart. So we will stop here. Thank you.